Hello, everyone. Hi, it's 4 p.m. in United States, 5 p.m. in Brazil, 5 p.m. in Argentina. This is Love and Relo. I'm your co-host for today, and Love and Relo from Rio. And we are here. I'm really glad. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Ben. Be
Hey,
welcome.
hey, Janaina, how are you?
Doing great.
Thanks
This
for
is the
having me
voice.
today.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad. Please feel home. Be welcome.
I do. I feel at home. This is nice. I could get used to this. This is great. Janaina, thanks so much for hosting today. I'd like to actually say I'm your co-host on this journey.
Sure.
So you're hosting LATAM Week, including Brazil, and I'm your co-host today. And I'm so excited to be here. And we have some wonderful guests today. Should we bring them out?
Yes, let's invite everyone. I'm really excited to introduce those great professionals and as well my great friends, Juliana Ruiz, Gabriela Bruzzone, and Maximiliano Cao. Welcome
Hi,
to
everyone.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you.
I'm really emotional now. Something got in my eye, and I'm really sorry, guys.
Janaina, how do you know these wonderful professionals?
Amazing, awesome, great question. This whole thing about global mobility, I end up meeting Juliana in Master Expat, that is a course here in Brazil, in São Paulo, back in 2008.
Eight.
Back 2008, no, yeah, 2018. And then we just got along. And after that, we just became really great friends. And she ended up introducing me to Gabriela and Max.
Mhm.
And
All right.
that's how everything started.
Awesome. And we got people checking in right now who are coming in on LinkedIn. We got 13 people on LinkedIn. We got another 7 people on Facebook watching right now. We got some people. Let's just go through the comments and check everybody out. Hey, if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that applause icon. Let's give our panel a round of applause. People are checking in now. Let's see here. Who is on? Vinny.
Yay!
Hey, it's gonna be epic, Vinny says. Do y'all know Vinny
Everybody.
Valverde?
Who doesn't, right?
Seriously. Hey, Vinny. Vinny might be making a guest appearance later in the week. So stay tuned for that. It could be really that could be epic, I think. Here, let's
Yeah.
see. Right? Let's see here. We've got Salman Chima. Maximiliano is the best.
Woohoo!
Wow.
I know. I mean, it's a little early in the show to declare a winner, right? I think. Shout out to Salman, who was on last week with Zara Najum, talking about immigration, global immigration. So that's really cool. Max, do you know Salman from work?
Yes, of course. We work together in some cases in Argentina and Chile as well. From Ericsson, right?
Yeah, from Ericsson Immigration Group. That's right. Yeah.
Hi, Salman.
Awesome. Very cool. Jamie Masler checking in. Hi, Ben, Janaina, and guests. Cheers from very hot and sunny Mississippi.
Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
How is the weather where you are right now? Juliana?
It's cold here, actually. In São
And-
Paulo, it's about 14 degrees.
Okay.
Celsius. So you have,
Yeah, Celsius.
I don't know.
Not Fahrenheit.
Yeah, you have to translate for us Americans. We're
But I
very
have to say, yesterday it was 28. So it's just like 2 days cold, and we are gonna get sun again.
okay, nice. And then Max, how's the weather down in Argentina?
It's very cold in Argentina, but it's typical because we are in winter. And I'm based in a surrounding area in Buenos Aires, so it's really cold here.
Awesome.
And here in Rio, it's unfortunately a really rainy day. It's Rio, should be sunny all over the year, but today's been rainy all day long.
Oh, it's just tragedy. So
Yeah,
the
part of the
beaches are closed, right? So I have this new best friend who keeps coming on the show all the
Hi,
time.
Mom. Oi, mãe.
I love your mom.
Awesome.
Yesterday.
That's great. That's awesome. You got Patricia checking in.
Hi, Patty.
Hi,
Hi,
Pat.
Patty.
She's saying there's a little bit of an echo. Yeah. Lisa checking in from Ann Arbor in Michigan. What's up, Lisa? Good to see you. Brian Rivers back from vacation. Hope all is well. Hi, Ben. Yeah, Brian, I thought you didn't like me anymore. You stopped watching the show. I guess you're on vacation. Okay. That's cool. It's allowed. All right, Brian, you're back. Chris Roberts, hi from Pittsburgh. Chris, sorry it's a little chatty this morning here. Let's see here. Mabel.
Mabel.
Sorry, we say Mabel in the U.S. I'm sorry. Mabel.
Oh, I love her.
Okay.
Actually, it was true. She's the one who runs the course that I end up meeting Juliana at. So, thank you, Mabel.
And then we've got Fernando.
That will be with us Friday.
Happy hour.
Yep. So just to tease this really quick, Friday, Fernando's going to be on. He's talking about moving in Brazil and shipping and everything, household goods primarily, and just kind of the evolution of that market. We're going to do a little happy hour. We're going to do a little game where you could play at home, maybe get a little cachaça flowing or something like that. I don't know. So we're going to have some trivia with a little drinking game mixed in Friday at 4 o'clock in the U.S., 5 o'clock Brazil and South America time. So tune in for that. Molly Feldman in Jacksonville checking in here. Let's see. All right, we got another Max fan. Good to see you here. Look forward to hearing the updates from all the guests.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's from Zara. Yeah, another Erickson fan. And you are allowed to vote for your favorite guests. So if you want to give shout outs in the comments, we will have somebody keeping score, and they will win the bragging rights of being the favorite guest. Tim Quirk, hey, from Western New York, checking in. Everybody's checking in over here. This is great. Let's see. Andrew Bruzy, hello from Arizona. It's great to see this impressive lineup. Awesome. Checking in from Brazil. Lindy Chapman, Simon Johnson from the UK. A lot of Sao Paulo people. Tim Quirk is doing the math on the Celsius. I appreciate that. Mena from Dubai checking in. Roberto Hajana, I'm here again.
Hi,
Roberta.
Eduardo, hello everyone. Nice event. Juliana is the best. Vote for Juliana. Okay, awesome. Juliana, I want to turn it over to you as my wonderful host today, and I'm going to let you kind of lead the program here and ask some questions since these are your friends and you have the most insight here to the region.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so guys, I'm really glad that you guys are here with us. This is going to be amazing. So I think it would be great to explain why we are having you guys here, how you guys end up meeting and how you guys end up partnering. Because actually when I met Juliana, everything was different. She wasn't working with Gabriela, so it would be great to explain how you guys end up starting working together and how you guys end up partnering together.
Love it.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Jana and Ben, for inviting us. And well, I met Gabriela from the industry. We've been working.
Juliana, you there?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Sorry. Just yes, we met from the industry. I'm sorry, Jana. I worked for some time at PwC. I worked in taxation, and then I started working in other consultants firms. And yes, last year we decided to discuss about the idea of working together. This is how we met, and we started discussing about the idea to develop a partnership.
Yeah, well, Relocation House was a company focused on destination service, and I met, I knew Juliana from the industry, from a lot of events, ERCs, ERAs, happy hours here in Brazil. So after 3 caipirinhas, we decided to join forces.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have a question here as far as how you work together. So you were both kind of experts in your field, and you decided to come together in a partnership. How do you split kind of the responsibilities within the company? I'm very curious how people work together.
No, to be honest, not exactly. I've been working in this area for over 10 years now. As I mentioned to you, I started working in PwC in tax law. Then I had the opportunity to work in other consultants firms in global mobility area, but with regards to immigration. So Relocation House was founded by Gabriela, but with the expertise of destination services in general. So when we started discussing to join in our efforts was about the idea of bringing my knowledge and my expertise in the immigration and taxation areas. This is very defined between us. So now we consider that we offer a solution in global mobility, but we have the roles immigration, taxation, and she does all these destination services.
Yeah, and this works really well. Everyone in this area of expertise, and Juliana is our superstar in immigration and tax. So she does whatever she wants, and I take care of my destination service area. So this is good.
Amazing. And then how you guys end up partnering with Max? Because if I understand right, Max, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys at CSM, you guys provide actually the same service, but in Argentina, right?
Well, we are focusing in immigration, actually. But yes, we have a specific area providing mobility and taxation services as well in Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. So I met Juliana in the last year in Munich. Certainly, it is weird because we didn't cross paths before. Bearing in mind that the immigration and taxation focus of our companies. I have actually more interaction with Gabriela, although her company didn't render immigration services until Juliana joined Relocation House. So it is like a natural path to be followed to continue working together, exploring business opportunities, interest, and learn more about the other's experience.
And do you guys see a lot of difference when we are talking about Argentina, Brazil, the taxation? How are the implications? How is that impact? It's a big difference, or it's kind of similar? How that works?
Stick with me.
Yeah, go forward.
Yeah, we have our difference between our countries, of course. In normal times, I would say that we kind of assist each other's when it comes to movement between our countries, because we have the Mercosu visa. So we have, in a way, a facilitation to do this kind of movement. But yeah, we have a lot of difference. I know there's a trend topic between Uruguay and Argentina now. Maybe Max would like to talk about this. I will pass it over to you so you can tell us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be boring explaining laws, decrees, and technical difference between the country, but maybe it is interest to focus on the foundations of every immigration process. This is the compliance and timelines from my point of view. Mm-hmm. Well, Argentina allows faster procedures to get a full compliance with local immigration in terms of temporary residence. As soon as the foreigners apply for the long-term visa, the Immigration Bureau issues precarious residence, allowing to start duties immediately. The process is mostly performed using the government platform called RADEX. However, it is a key stage that they still require personal attendance to a mandatory step. I don't know if it is the same in Brazil.
No, we do all electronically. We just need to go to the federal police to issue the documents in Brazil, like RNM and so on. But usually we do all the process electronically. It's slightly different.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is like an archaic step and should be reviewed by the authorities. In fact, we submitted the last December a project promoting a new visa procedures, skipping the personal attendance to the organism. so that we create a protocol already shared with the authorities, and we expect to have a formal meeting, I don't know, in maybe 2 weeks. So perhaps we have good news coming soon.
But
We have.
Go.
No, sorry, I was just mentioned that we have difference when it comes to this period of pandemic, of course, because I think Brazil is more easy when it comes to travel bans and exemptions, but Argentina, as I saw, is very strict in their rules and measures. Maybe this is something to be.
Do you guys work with other countries here in South America?
Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, and Brazil.
Awesome. And this kind of like having the whole process electronic is something just that happens here in Brazil, or the other countries in South America as well? They have electronic process, or they're all on paperwork? How that works?
Well, in terms of electronic platforms, Uruguay is a step behind to reach the paperless procedures. Mm-hmm. But it's reacting very fast to smooth out the entry of foreigners during the pandemic. That's a good point for Uruguay. Regarding Chile, the immigration authorities have been struggling to adapt their processes and respond accordingly to the high demand of visas requested during the last year as a result of the business and economic boom they had.
Sorry, Ju, you mentioned about Mercosu. Would be good to explain like what that means. So what that implies, what that means for everyone to understand what we are talking about. What are the benefits?
Yes, we have like a facilitation between our countries. Like if an Argentina want to come to Brazil, they can just apply to a residence directly at the federal police. So they don't have to apply for electronic visa. They don't have to present a lot of documents like degree and years of experience in that specific activity and so on. So there's like an easy way to apply for a visa and for a residence in our countries between each other.
And do you believe that facilitates people really use that? That's something that makes it easier for people to migrate and they really use, or it's just something there that people don't really make it worth it?
Sure, I truly believe this. Undoubtedly, we have a lot of Latin American people from the other countries here because they saw the opportunity to find a job and to have a fresh start in Brazil. Well, yes, for sure.
But what it is? Brazilians go more to Argentina and other countries, or Argentinians are coming more to Brazil? What is the impression?
Well, my impression is that we are receiving more foreigners than we are coming to the other countries between South America. But when it comes to Chile specifically, I don't know exactly, maybe Max can tell a little bit more, but I see a movement from Chile, for Chile specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we receive a lot of people coming from Brazil, but regarding the countries where the expats come from, it certainly depends on the industry. Oil and gas, for example, is led by Chinese and Americans, for example. Certainly, IT guys come from India, and in some cases from Ukraine. Also depends on the origin of the company investing in the country, and definitely this might determine where the expat come from.
Awesome. So,
Janaina, we have some questions here in the comments, if I may. Let's see who's checking in with us here. We have some great comments here. We have some not, let's see here. Let's see here. Some opinions being expressed. Mabel, Juliana's a great professional, good vibes. Jamie Massler, Gabriela is fabulous. People are enjoying people are enjoying some of this. We have a question for Max here from Mabel. Mm-hmm. Max, how is the immigration process impacted during the COVID crisis?
Mm-hmm. Well, we are facing some delays regarding visa procedures in Argentina. Right now, we are able to apply for a temporary residencies renewal, so that's good, even considering the lockdown of the organism. But it's true that you need to go deep with the authorities and try to find out the way to, for example, to allow people coming from other countries if you can demonstrate the essential of the activity. So there is a chance to apply for visas, even considering the lockdown of the organism.
Hey, can you give us like an example maybe of something that you've seen that's been successful in that application process, or a strategy that people have used successfully during this time?
Well, right now we are dealing with a client that is trying to get a visa for a technical worker, and we are discussing with the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs. We submit an administrative request, and we expect to have our first case in this week. So things are going very good. We are very, very happy with that.
Excellent.
I can share the results this week.
Okay. Yeah. And then we've got a question here from Salman. Max and team, we often have to use the Precaria, but then employees cannot ship their goods until the 23A is approved, which can take months. Do you see any changes or relief for this coming?
No. It is. Do you need to have the final resolution in order to go through that process? It's related to the shipment, right? Because I can see the question.
Yeah, it says Maximiliano team, we often have to use the Precaria, but then employees cannot ship their goods until 23A is approved.
Yeah, in that cases, we try to push the authorities in order to ask for exemption, trying to demonstrate this specific case. But it is true that you need the final resolution granting the temporary residence in order to go through the process. So it's a very important point. It's a hot topic, actually.
But you don't see it changing, though, it sounds like.
No. You can discuss with authorities specific cases, but in general terms, they are not going to change the procedures.
Have you seen a strategy that has worked when discussing this with authorities and kind of applying for some relief in specific cases?
The government relation is it's mandatory. It's key in our company, and that's allowed to face. To overcome the challenging process. We had a lot with Solomon, actually. So that's our strategy, and works very well.
Excellent. We got some great questions here. Gabrielle says, great discussion. Thank you. How has COVID-19 impacted immigration processing in your respective jurisdictions? So I'd like to kick that over to Juliana and Gabrielle.
Yes, in fact, we are receiving the process and we are applying for the process. They are actually analyzing the process. But as we have a travel ban, now it has changed in the past weeks. We have a travel ban until the end of July. And people who has a pre-approved visa for work purpose or even for business purpose, they can come to Brazil as an exemption. So it's kind of it was easy in the few weeks.
So you think it's gonna ease in a few weeks? You're saying? You think?
No, it was easy in the few weeks because now they can apply for the first visa and they can come to Brazil. Actually, in the past few weeks, they didn't could come to Brazil.
And then what about in some of the other countries that you serve? I think you said Uruguay and Chile as well.
Well, regarding the countries where we are based, there are like a core difference and measures taken by the national authorities. On July the 1st, for example, the authorities strengthened the mandatory lockdown from the Buenos Aires metropolitan region until the this Friday. Okay, Friday the 17th. As for the rest of the country, the relaxing of lockdowns of each province will be an internal decision taken by local government and the national Argentinian government. This new measure were prohibiting the group of gathering, crossing borders, advising people keep social distancing, and confining people to their homes have certainly helped to stop the spread of the coronavirus. But unfortunately, the extended quarantine still continues to cause stress and inconvenience for individuals and business, especially those in the Buenos Aires region under the strict lockdown.
Juliana, do you have anything to add in some of those other countries? I mean, are you seeing any other impacts that we should know about, or did Max kind of?
No, yeah, in Brazil we have measures. We are being eased now. The quarantine is being eased, so we are going to reopen our malls and our restaurants in general. So we are quite optimistic from now on. But for immigration, as I told you, we have a travel ban until the end of this month. But we have a lot of exemptions, so people coming for business purpose, they can enter Brazil actually. So I think this is a good thing, and it's pretty much the same.
Honestly, now the only ban is for coming for tourism, right? They can come for work.
No, we have yes, actually we have a travel ban in general. Mm-hmm. They can come only for business or if they have a pre-approved visa for work purposes. Mm-hmm. But for tourism in general or other reasons.
Other kind of visas, yeah.
Got it.
So
I'm sorry.
No, go, Max.
I'm going to add something about Uruguay and Chile, the other countries. In case of Uruguay, for example, the government issued a decree changing the conditions to enter and leave the country under the national emergency declared. Beyond the Uruguayan citizens and permanent residents, the new decree authorized foreign nationals to enter to the country in two big scenarios. The first one is a family reunification. The second is having a short-term visa duly approved for technical activities or business. Currently, other foreign nationals or activities are still forbidden to enter to Uruguay.
Now, I actually have a much more important question for you, Max. This one is actually from Janet, our producer. Question from Janet Turner is, does Max tango?
That's a good question. I don't like to dance, so that's the point.
And nobody likes to dance, but okay, we find ourselves in these situations sometimes. And
my father tried to taught me about this. I'm not good with that kind of skills. It's not my expertise.
So you're saying there's a chance. Okay. All right. Maybe, Janet. Just hang in there, Janet. Maybe. All right. Let's see.
How much you love Janet.
Let's see. We got a couple more questions here too. Mena from Dubai says, "Are you noticing some tax exemptions or tax relief maybe during the pandemic?" This has been big over here in the U.S. I mean, a lot of stimulus, a lot of tax changes, a lot of just help. We push the tax date out here in the U.S. You seeing anything like that in any of the South American countries that you touch?
No, not actually to our country, no.
No tax changes at all, huh? Just deal with it. There you go.
Yes.
Just stay home, wear a mask, and pay your taxes. All right. Okay.
Well, I think the only thing that you had more like another deadline to apply for the tax.
No, we have an extended deadline to filing the income tax, but that's it.
That's it.
Exemptions, no.
So in the U.S., I think over in the U.K., some European countries, they've done these, what we call the PPP loan. It's a payroll loans, basically to allow you to pay your employees, in lieu of business, and then those loans were forgiven or will be forgiven if you can document. I think at least 70% went to payroll. There's things like that are going on. anyway. So have you seen any kind of stimulus or anything like that around businesses or forbearances on loans for businesses or any types of small business relief at all in any of the countries that y'all touch? Have you heard about anything like that?
We have some kind of incentives when it comes to business, small business in Brazil, but talking about individuals, no. They have to file the obligation and that's it. But yeah, we had some incentives from our government. So if you have to, we have like a standard deadline to present some documents and information and so on.
Yeah, concerning the companies and the employees, you have a certain incentive from the government not to lay off people, and you could just like suspend or renegotiate the hours of work for a certain period. But this is basically for all workers. But concerning the immigration law, I think nothing really changed because of the COVID.
Okay. We've got another question here from my friend Lisa. I believe Lisa's at General Motors. Do you see the travel bans being extended to also include nationals not being able to come back to their countries if they come out of the U.S., for instance, for example? I can read that again, too, for Max, because I don't think you can see the questions. Do you see the travel bans being extended to also include nationals who are not able to come back to their countries if they come out of the U.S., for example? She probably has some employees she's thinking about right now. What do you think about that question?
Well, Argentinian nationals and foreigners with temporary residents are able to get back to Argentina. There is no problem with that. So I don't know the specific case, but there is a way to get the approval from the government and allow them to come back to Argentina.
What if let's flip this around. I'm not sure exactly the way she's asking it, which direction she's asking it, but let's assume for a minute that there is a U.S. national, a United States national in Buenos Aires who is working down there and who needs to return. Is the travel ban, would that preclude them from leaving?
There is a repatriation flight and are working very well. Again, I don't know the case, but there is a chance to get the approval of the authorities to get authorization to get back to the States.
And Lisa, if I asked that question wrong, which is a 50% chance I asked that question incorrectly, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let me know. She probably will. Oh, there she is. See, look at that. I saw Paraguay wasn't letting anyone in, even their own nationals. Have you heard of that? I literally hear crickets right now. Can you hear that?
Me too. I literally did.
Anyway, awesome. Have you heard about Paraguay not letting anyone in, even their own nationals? No, Juliana?
No.
Max?
I can tell you, but I think no, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but the impression that I have is that the bans that they are just going to be more flexible from now on. That's the impression that I have. Of course, if we don't end up getting the second wave. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I see that the flexibility that's going to be just more and more flexible, I expect. But okay, now I'm just thinking, Gabriela, it's really quiet. We talk a lot about bringing people, all the bureaucratic details. Once we have the families here,
once they are here,
you're the shining star, right? You said that
they are finally here.
Once they are finally here with or without bands, you are the shining star that support them. So how you deal with the expectations, how you deal with this whole thing of receiving foreigners here in Brazil as you deal with the relocation support?
Well, this is a really, really open question because for me, it really depends where they are coming from. But usually what I see is that people think about Brazil. Brazil is a really hospitable country with a lot of beautiful beaches, nice people, fun parties, carnival, and stuff like that. So, and it can be, but not all the time, not everyday life. So when they get here and they see the challenges of finding a home or all the bureaucratic process to get a visa, to get a local documentation, this can be really frustrating. And we deal with a very sensitive part of the job on the assignment. We are dealing with expectations. Of course, they want to have a beautiful home, and Brazil can be very expensive. Brazil can be not safe in some neighborhoods, some cities, some parts of the country. So we have to deal with these expectations. I think the key word is communication. The better you communicate, for me, in a positive way, always, of course, but we cannot hide some of the facts, of course, as well. But the better you communicate, the better the entire assignment, expectations of the assignee, of the family, the kids, and everything else is going to be better. So I think the best way to handle this is really to be side by side, communicate well, and understand where they are coming from, the difference they might have from their country, and try to explain how things work here.
Awesome. And the companies, they really understand this necessity. They let you guys be from the beginning participating in the whole process to kind of like equalize this expectation where you are seeing on the TV, Copacabana, the beaches, and all the fun, and how things really happen. You guys focus in São Paulo, right?
Well, we are based on São Paulo, but we are still assist all over Brazil. So if we have a client having some expats to another city, we assist. Of course, the main market for us is São Paulo, but we have assisted in other cities in Brazil. But I think what is good, it's really when we have someone since the beginning. So we have the first initial call. We create this relationship with the assignee, and they trust us, and they trust that we will find the best way, the best house, the best school, the best everything for them. And when we create this connection with the family, with the assignee, it works much better.
And do you believe Brazil has how is the structure to support with, as you mentioned, some neighborhoods, they are not safe. So how is the structure here in Brazil? How you guys end up finding the safer neighborhoods, what that means being safer, and how is the structure on apartments and everything that you guys provide? If I understand, you guys provide schooling and housing and all that, right?
Yes. Well, it's really it's really a work that we have to explain everything. So basically, we have to understand where the work is, where the company, where the assignee will work, and the school, and if it is a family, and we have to advise on the best options. So what I always say is that we cannot hide, of course, some facts of specific neighborhoods. We have to tell them they need to choose with all the information. But of course, we don't want to, just talk about the negative things. And you can live in Brazil and never have any bad experience. So we try to understand really the feeling of the family, the feeling of the assignee, and advise on the best options. But basically, they always stay in the same neighborhoods. They don't really stay away from the most, main neighborhoods in the city of São Paulo, Rio, and others. So this is not something really difficult to align.
We have some questions here coming in for Gabriela, it looks like here. Vanessa says, I would like to hear how are the real estate market, the schools, and other DSP services in the region considering the pandemic. So maybe could you give us kind of an overview of real estate, schools, as two examples?
Yeah, I mean, for a while at the beginning, we had to stop visiting homes and schools and things like that, and we had to go virtual. So
when did that start for you? When did you stop visiting the homes?
In Brazil, it started basically in the middle of March. We had already kind of a social distance protocol and lockdown, not really lockdown, but we had some restrictions. And because we don't have also foreigners coming to Brazil because of the travel ban, what we have was some people that were already, on the process. So this is what we had to do during this time. So we had to go virtual, we had to do videos, we had to do FaceTime and things like that to choose a home.
Sure.
Right. So concerning housing, for a while, for 2-3 months, we had to work into this direction. Right now, they're getting better.
Are you back in the homes now?
But of course, we have to set up a visit. We need to check if you can visit, if landlord allows, if the condominium allows, and everything. So it's we have to take our precautions, of course. But right now we are able to visit homes, and the same for schooling. So schooling, I would say it's a bit easier because some international schools, parents, they know already where they want their kids to study. They have been recommended for other expats. So schooling, it's more of a bit it's an easier process to do during this pandemic time.
Are there French and English speaking schools available in Brazil? Molly Feldman would like to know.
Yes, yeah. Well, yes, of course. In São Paulo, there are a lot of American schools. French school, we have one, which attends all the French community. But American school, British schools, we have at least, 5 or 7 options in the city of São Paulo, and we have out of São Paulo in Rio, Campinas, Brasilia, other cities, we have American schools as well.
Honestly, that was something that until I start to work with global mobility, I was really surprised with how many options there are here. I was surprised. I don't have kids. It's not something part of my searches, but I was really surprised of how many options are available here in Brazil. So it is a good question.
In fact, I'm still nowadays surprised that we sometimes we are not able to find a place for foreigners in the international school. So they are really fully booked, and you have to be on a waiting list.
Wow.
And crazy.
So what do you do if you relocate to Brazil and your school, the American school, the English speaking school, let's say, is on a waiting list. I mean, do you just not have your kids in school? Do you homeschool them? Do you?
This is the big concern of all parents, all families that are coming to Brazil. I mean, for sure to other countries, but talking about Brazil, if they don't find a place in the school, they won't come.
They won't come.
This
Yeah.
is the top list priority of the families for sure.
So
And
interesting.
how long in advance can you, like, for example, okay, I know that I'm relocating next year. How long in
Usually,
advance can I
at
say?
least
6 months?
yes.
Okay.
To be on the wait list because you need to apply, you need to go into all the application process, and they need to see if the kids, and all the things. But to be on to apply for a spot in the international school, I would say at least it is safe to say 6 months.
And this whole application process can be done from abroad?
Yes. Even the interviews with the kids, this is really good. You can do it through Skype. They don't need to be to visit the school. So this is why I said schooling is easier in a way because they already know they want their kids to go to an American school. So this is the school. So basically they want to go into the application process and they don't need to really visit the school in advance.
So
Okay.
Janet Turner has a question. Do expats mainly rent or purchase homes?
Here in Brazil, I would say 99% rent. It's really difficult to see someone buying a home.
I got a question here from Andrew Bruzy. Do you think that, and this question is for Max and Juliana and Gabriela, do you think that COVID will be transformational for the, we'll say, South American mobility market in the months and years to come? My co-host is trained on this term.
That's a good question.
Max, do you want to take this one for now?
Yeah, I think that the best word to explain what I think is efficiency. The corporates will seek for a local provider with hands-on expertise, trying to reduce intermediaries and being more tax effective from my point of view. In terms of social responsibility, I guess the role of the industry, for example, rebuilding the commerce and economies all over the world will be vital, and we need to be ready to react.
Yeah. Juliana, how do you see COVID transforming the South American mobility market?
Yeah, I think we are going to analyze. I watched some videos and articles about that, companies talking about the virtual assignments. So maybe this is the future that we are already living. So when it comes to the new normal, I think this will be a thing to be taken in consideration. Companies are trying to understand if they can do the assignment virtually, and then maybe this could be more cost effective for the company. So
describe that for me, Juliana. How would a virtual assignment work?
Yeah, because when we talk about an assignment in general, we are talking about relocating a person or family to other countries. So they are discussing the possibility of this person do all the support remotely from their country or another country for their choice, So I think this is.
So like right now, I'm on virtual assignment in Brazil.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Only that you're not being paid from Brazil, so makes it easier.
Yeah.
Right, from a tax standpoint. But would I get a cost of living adjustment, or would it be disadvantageous? I don't know.
This is the point here. Now companies are discussing the benefits they would give for the assignee or the tax implication. Would be a problem. So I think, but we have to be to pay close attention to this new normal, because this is going to be the part of it for sure.
How would their services change to assignees in a virtual environment?
Okay, well, when you mean for immigration, we usually do it virtually. So we apply for the process electronically. We do meetings electronically in general. I think the more impacted area for sure, when it comes to the services, it was relocation because well we couldn't go to the properties to visit and so on. But of course, we tried to adapt the entire mindset of our employees so we could manage the information and the stress management of people because they couldn't come and enter Brazil and had to stop on an assignment that was going to happen, and so this was how relocation deal.
So Gabriela, I'd like to ask you a similar question. How would a company like Relocation House adapt to a growing virtual population? If all of a sudden people are virtually relocating to Brazil and the region, right? How would that change some of the services that we offer? I mean, at first blush, I look at it and like, oh my God, that's terrible, right? I mean, how do you do relocation if you can't relocate people, right? But I think that we all have to adapt. I mean, and I mean, we wouldn't be doing this very conversation 5-10 years ago the way we're doing it, right? And so how does a company like, let's say, Relocation House, just to kind of put you on the spot a little bit, but how would you adapt to an environment like that?
Well, of course, I think we will have to think about creating new service and a way to assist virtually everything that an assignment would require, right? But right now, we are trying to understand if this will be really a reality. I have attended some webinars when they are talking about the virtual assignment, if this is something that is going to be in the future, and if this will be something really cheaper for the companies, and they will prefer to have someone on their home instead of bringing them into a new culture and giving them the opportunity of the experience and the personal growth and so on. So I'm more to my expectations. I think this is not something that it will turn around completely. I think we will have assignees, we will have people moving around. Maybe we don't have people coming for a long-term assignment, or we don't relocate the entire family, or they come only on a temporary basis. And in this way, we can offer more corporate housing solution and stuff like that. But for sure, I think everything is really new, and we are trying to understand how it's going to be in the future. So for now, what I know is that the word of the moment is flexibility. So we have to adapt, be flexible, and understand how we can provide service in the future.
So I have a comment question here, and it blocks out everybody's face on the bottom, so I apologize. No disrespect. But Ben commented yesterday, and he commented again today, and thank you, Ben, for that. Excellent discussion, friends. Missed having beers with the Latin family like last year in Munich, but I'm having one now watching you. Cheers. So this question may or may not be good. We don't know yet. 2 questions. 1, Brazilian people are unique in their ability to connect with others on a human level and be authentic always. Relocation House seems like a very human company with a soul and meaningful values. He's been drinking. He's like, I see your soul. Tell us about your values and educate us on your thoughts on the importance of empathy and global mobility. And we'll take the second question last.
Sure.
Yes, I can tell you. Well, as I told you, we are dealing with this. We know this moment is very overwhelming for the assignees in general. We have bad news all around. We watch the news. We see bad news about Brazil and so on, and about the world in general. So we are trying to be more empathetic. We are trying to keep them updated as much as possible. So we are trying to select and to change our mindset when it comes to share with them the kind of news that we see about Brazil. We are trying to focus on the positive points about being here and so on. So this is how we are trying to deal with all this situation. We are in a very, I can say, in a very difficult moment of all the world for sure. But we have political issues at the same time in Brazil. We have other issues going on. So we are trying to filter the information and to do it smooth as possible to our clients and to understand their needs, their necessities. They are far away from their home or their family sometimes. So this is the way we see things here. And this is what we do. We are human beings. We are here to support them as much as possible. So I think that's it.
Gabriela, can you tell me a little bit more also? And thank you, Juliana. Can you tell me a little bit more, Gabriela, about your values as a company? That was another part of Ben's question.
Oh yeah, I just want to add because I love it that I see that you guys talk about focus on the details, the extra mile, and I think really connects with everything that Juliana is saying. But yeah.
Yeah, I think for us, it was always important to be human. We understand that we are moving people. We are not moving goods. We are moving people. And it is really, really important to understand their needs and to sympathize and to do our best to assist them. So our focus is to be really goal-oriented, client-oriented. Communication is a key word for us. And we always say, we know that a lot of people do what we do, but we need to understand detail. We need to care for them, so we are able to assist in a better way and to personalize the process and to make it unique for this specific human being, for this specific family. So this is basically what we are always working towards.
I love when people talk about human touch. I really believe that's the way of doing mobility.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So I know Ben, he really wants to talk about this. He's holding himself. He really wants to know how it is for you guys to work like Argentina, Brazil. What is the deal? It's true. Brazilians and Argentinians do get along or don't get along.
Aren't you supposed to hate each other? I mean, your football teams are always clashing, and we all know that Argentina has the better soccer team. So how do you possibly?
Do you know that? I don't. What I know is that we have won the World Cup 5 times.
Well,
Max, would you care to say anything, Max?
Yeah, of course. I think it's not worthy to go deep on this. In terms of championships and cup, it is clear the upper hand and the superiority of the Verde Amarela. They are great.
But don't you feel like that's changed a lot lately, Max?
No,
actually, no. Argentina, we got a good players, but we got a problem working as a team. I think that La Canariña is one of the best teams. I'm a fan, actually. I think that the most critical point is to find out who is the best raising the football players.
Pelé.
Because
Pelé is better than Maradona.
Sorry, I didn't exist yet to evaluate Pelé. That's the point. But I don't know.
Well, Pele was better from the waist down, but Maradona was better from the waist up, right? Isn't that?
Neymar is better than Messi now.
No, come on.
Well, I don't know about that, but what I can say is that I was at the beach this weekend and I saw a lot of people just playing football at the beach. This is amazing. I don't think you really see this everywhere in the world. Just playing football. For people with a ball, it's just like beach soccer or something soccer, whatever. So I think the passion for football here in Brazil is so big that we have good players.
I think it's something that more unite us than divide us. That's what I really believe.
Of course, I agree.
There's always beer involved, so it's not all about soccer, anyways.
Yeah, it's true. It's about barbecue afterwards as well.
Exactly.
And Jana, you like to go to stadiums and root for Argentina anyway, don't you?
Don't tell this to everyone.
She's a secret Argentina fan. I mean, I hate to out you on that.
Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. In the World Cup, when one was here in Brazil, I went to this game that was Argentina and Bosnia, and I was cheering for Argentina. I went wearing like blue and white, and I was really excited. My
Look
friend
at Juliana. She's like, no way.
No, I can't believe
I just lose a friend.
I can't believe
And then my friend that went with me, she was like really mad. She's like, I don't wanna deal with you. And I was really excited cheering, and Argentina, the game was amazing. And then when because World Cup, people are all over craziness. And when she was telling me like, why you are doing this, and in Portuguese. And then when the Argentinians realized that I was Brazilian cheering for them, oh my God, they went crazy. They were just like, oh my God, you are like our, how you say mascot?
Mascot.
Yeah, mascot. And the Brazilians, they are like really mad at me. Like serious. No, wasn't a joke. People were really mad because I'm Brazilian. I should be cheering against Argentina. It doesn't matter who was playing. The fact was I should be cheering against Argentina, but I was like dressing all over and blue and white, and I was really excited.
I think it's so funny.
Sorry, guys.
Jana, I think it's funny that when you say, oh, football, it brings us together, and everybody's like, oh, yes. And then you say you're rooting for Argentina, and Juliana's like, what? I don't even know you anymore. I don't even want to be your friend anymore.
I'm passionate about football. I can tell you that I would cheer for Argentina. No way.
World Cup? No, seriously. I really, honestly, it's a reality.
No, Jana,
I really like their hermanos.
You're the only Brazilian.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's a fact. Like always when this story comes up, when I'm talking with my friends, my family, everybody just look at me like, what's wrong with you?
Well, you're a third culture kid, yes. Jana. We learned that yesterday. So you're
exactly. I'm not really Brazilian.
Yeah. You never came back. There you go. Exactly. Ben Heller made a note here, loving the AMOR and Relo logo and the great conversation today. Talent mobility tends to be U.S. focused. Cheers to you for expanding the focus to Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay. It's great to hear how we're connected by the human similarities and the unique differences, and I think that's interesting, right? Because I say, right? Ben says the people over here in the USA, mobility tends to be U.S. focused, and I'm not sure if that's true or if it's just that we're in the U.S. and so we think of ourselves as the center of the universe because that's how people in the U.S. think, right? And I think, Jana, okay, we get it. Okay, we understand. You agree. Okay, and so but that's why we wanted to do this too, because we wanted to have a platform that we could all kind of rise, and say, hey, let our voices be heard, right? And let's kind of take a look, a real deep, hard look at at South America as a region, so I'm so thankful that you've all come today and you've all shared your perspectives and your experiences. I really, really appreciate you all being here with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It
was lovely.
Jana, as customary, and since you're the host, this is Jana's first day on the job in the host seat now. Jana, since you're the host, would you like to take us around the horn and finish this up today?
yeah, I wanted to emphasize my gratitude for accepting the invitation. Juliana, she was watching Vinny's show when we just started the whole thing of doing, and she was right at the first moment like, yeah, let's do it. So thank you so much for accepting the invite, for being here with us. I really believe that this is really important, and I'm really thankful for our friendship and for everything. And guys, tomorrow we have Marina from Wildlife. And she comes from the perspective from startups. She works in in the games industry, so this is gonna be fun and really different. So I really hope to see you guys tomorrow. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.